Breaking right now, the Democratic Party is coming apart live, on camera, and their own people are the ones doing it. 4 different Democrats, 4 separate moments, all in the last few weeks. A legendary strategist threatening to walk out. A former governor calling his own party's platform insane. A sitting congressman calling it a cancer. And a senator whose own party may be trying to push him out the door. This isn't opposition research. This is the Democratic Party, in its own words, falling apart from the inside. Watch this first one closely because James Carville, one of the most legendary Democratic strategists alive, just drew a line in the sand that should terrify his own party.
I am not going to be in the same party with Hassan Piker. I can tell you that right now. If he becomes a force in the Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party with that guy. Now, I think that a majority, overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with me. But this idea that we're going to seize the means of production and just go look at the DSA platform. You don't have to look any further than that. And, you know, Jackie, it may be that the two-party system is just going to be under tremendous stress. The one thing I can tell you for certain, Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. One of us is going to leave. It might even be me.
This is not some random cable news guest. This is the man who ran Bill Clinton's winning presidential campaign, telling a national audience he would rather leave the Democratic Party entirely than share it with one of its most popular online influencers. And notice exactly what he points to as the reason, not a single policy dispute, but the actual DSA platform itself, seizing the means of production, restructuring the entire economy. Carville's not guessing at what the far left wants. He's telling you to go read it yourself because he already has, and it scared him enough to publicly threaten to walk. When the guy who literally built the modern Democratic Party's playbook says he might have to leave it, that's not a talking point. That's a 5-alarm fire inside his own house. Carville's not alone either. Look at what a Democrat who actually has to win elections in a red state thinks about this.
Heather, could you ever support a self-described socialist candidate?
No.
No way. My God, no.
And
even if they have some good ideas?
I support the good ideas, but how could you support some of the crazy stuff they're for? Have you seen their platform? They're for dismantling everything that we know, whether it be the structure of government, Congress itself, or the Senate they want to get rid of. And then they start talking about all the crazy things. No police, no this, no this, no that. Are you crazy? We want a crime-free area. We have to have police for that.
Yeah.
We want a strong defense. We want a strong border. But if Democrats can't say that, and they start lining up with the socialist demands of what you are to be a socialist, energy will be gone. There'll be no energy, okay? We have right now a tremendous amount of energy we're producing, and the world depends more on us than ever before.
Manchin spent years being attacked by his own party for not going far enough left. And this clip is exactly why he never budged. No police, dismantling the Senate, no borders. That's not a caricature Republicans invented. That's Manchin quoting what he's actually hearing from inside his own coalition. And his point about energy is bigger than it sounds. West Virginia and states like it produce the fuel that keeps this entire country running. And Manchin is bluntly saying that if Democrats fully embrace this platform, that production stops. Not slows down, stops. He's not making a partisan attack. He's warning that his own party's new direction would functionally break the electric grid and the fuel supply for the whole country, and he's saying it like a man who's already watched it happen in miniature in his own state. So if Manchin is worried about energy, watch what a sitting House Democrat says happens to the entire party's identity.
I want to ask you, do you think that there's a lot of overlap between traditional Democrats such as yourself and the Democrat socialists that are giving the establishment a run for its money?
Well, obviously, I'm a very proud, common-sense Democrat, and I don't think DSA members are Democrats. They're socialists, right? And I'm all for them having their own party if they want one. But if they're trying to take over our party, that's unacceptable to me. And their values, their ideas, and are certainly not in line with ours, and they don't support our leadership. They're trying to use the Democratic Party as a vessel for their ideas. And as you heard in some of these conventions, literally they're supporting the Communist Manifesto and Trotsky. They're anti-American. They're anti-cop. They don't believe in borders, and frankly, the good news is there's only about 150,000 of them registered and there's 45 million Democrats. And so we should make it very clear that they're not Democrats and they're not welcome in the Democratic Party.
Gottheimer's not just venting here. He's been building an actual organized resistance inside his own party. He's called the DSA's growing influence a growing cancer that Democrats cannot ignore. And he's one of 15 Democrats and Democratic candidates who signed an actual formal pledge this year called Promise to America, stating in writing, "We are capitalist, not socialist." 15 sitting Democrats felt the need to publicly sign a piece of paper promising they're not communists. Let that sink in. And his numbers check out too. DSA membership is right around 120 to 150,000 people nationally, against 45 million registered Democrats. A group that's less than 0.5% of the party by headcount is currently dictating primary results, city government platforms, and national convention speeches. That's not democracy working as intended. That's a small, organized faction taking over a much larger, disorganized one from the inside. Exactly the way Gottheimer describes it. And here's where it gets even bigger, because this isn't just about words anymore. Watch what's actually happening to one sitting Democratic senator right now.
And we actually need other votes other than just the extreme part of my party. We're going to remind that. And now, as the only single Democrat that's flipped a seat, and now I've also made it mathematically impossible to even to reclaim the majority in the United States Senate. So if they want the Democratic Party to turn it into a witch burning and to go after, the one Democrat that's done the thing that, these people haven't been able to do, so they're entitled to do it. But I'm proud to represent Pennsylvania, and I don't just represent just Democrats in Pennsylvania. I represent all 13 million Pennsylvanians, and I'm going to play it straight. I'm going to never lie or pretend something's wrong. I'm going to just what's right, I will support. And that's the voice that I'm going to continue to be, regardless what parts of the Democratic might disagree.
Here's what that clip doesn't tell you outright, but it's happening in real time right now, this year. Republicans, reportedly with President Trump personally involved through Sean Hannity, have been actively trying to recruit Fetterman to leave the Democratic Party entirely, either by switching sides or going independent. Fetterman's own words to reporters were that if his own caucus doesn't want him anymore, they could just say so, specifically citing what he called the increasingly anti-Israel direction of his own party. And the math in his clip is real, not exaggerated. Democrats already need to flip 4 Senate seats just to reach a bare majority, and multiple analysts now say they may need 5 specifically because Fetterman himself has become that unreliable to his own leadership. So you've got Carville threatening to walk, Manchin warning the platform will gut the energy grid, Gottheimer organizing a formal pledge against his own party's leftward lurch, and now the actual math of Senate control hanging on whether one senator gets recruited away entirely. This isn't 4 isolated complaints anymore. This is a party that is genuinely, structurally coming apart in public, one senator and strategist at a time. So here's the real question worth sitting with. When the man who elected Bill Clinton, a former governor turned senator, a sitting House Democrat, and the party's own most unpredictable senator are all saying versions of the same warning, at what point does the Democratic Party actually have to listen? Or does it take losing the Senate majority entirely before anyone in leadership takes this seriously? Tell me which one of these 4 you think is right, and drop a comment on whether you think the DSA takes over the party completely or gets pushed back out, because either way, this fight is only getting louder from here.